Hello, welcome to our channel. My name is Joe from Getaway Memories, and I'm glad you're joining us today. I hope you like our channel, and please subscribe and share. We would like to grow. We'd like to be able to keep putting out some infotainment, as I like to call it, information and entertainment. Maybe get a laugh. Hopefully nobody's crying, everybody's happy. A couple weeks ago, I shared with you the 5 worst camping places in U.S. and it got a lot of response, a lot of views. I'm going to hook that up at the end of the video. You'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see a couple of I did one on the 5 worst camping spots, and I did one on the 10 best camping places in the United States, or states, I should say. Those will be at the end of the video. But this video here is about the 15 least visited national parks in 2022. This is according to CNN Travel. This was put out May of this year. So here we go. The first one of the least was the National Park of America, Samoa. Now I can understand why. You have to have a passport. It's in the remote part of the South Pacific. Hawaiian Airlines, by the way, if you are in Honolulu, jump on Hawaiian Airlines and they'll give you a direct flight twice a week. 2020, 2022 COVID travel requirements were relaxed at the they had COVID-19 problems, so there was restrictions, and then they were relaxed at the end of last year. And the first cruise ship, believe it or not, arrived first time in 3 years in January. The park has units on 3 islands and stretches across 13,500 acres, some 4,000 of which are marine acres that are mostly coral reefs. The second of the least is the Gates of the Arctic National Park and Preserve, and that's in Alaska. It had 9,400 recreation visits. Now this is according to recreation.gov. No roads, no trails, no cell service, no established campsites. This massive piece of park is a true wilderness experience. The park and preserve has 6 designated wild rivers. If you're a visitor there, you can wander at will across 8.4 million acres of superlative natural beauty. The park's website says visitors must be self-sufficient, flexible, and able to execute self-extraction and communication should an emergency situation arrive. So you're gonna have to be prepared. No cell service means, guess what? You'll be leaving them cell phones at home, them computers at home. You're going to be enjoying the land. So that's what it's all about. Anyway, you should leave them at home. The third is Kobuk, and I'm pronouncing it's spelled K-O-B-U-K. Kobuk Valley National Park. It's in Alaska. It had about 16,000 visitors, average. Now these are, they said visits, so I'm assuming that 16,000 people went there. How's that? No roads, campgrounds, or entrance gates for this 1.8 million acre park. It's on a half a million caribou migrate through this park. So look at it, you want to see some caribou, this is the place to go. They cross the Kobuk River and Onion Portage according to the National Park Service. An 8,000-year tradition of hunting caribou here still continues. Number 4, with 18,187 recreation visits, is Lake Clark National Park and Preserve in Alaska. 4 million acres. This national park is home to 3 designated wild rivers and 2 national natural landmark volcanoes. The land holds 10,000 years of human history and preserves the ancestral homelands of the Dena people. That's capital D-E-N-A, little apostrophe up top, I-N-A, whatever that word is, people. I think it's Dena people. Man, I don't remember in history hearing about the Dena people, but okay, Dena people. That's cool. Number 5 is the Isle Royale National Park in Michigan. 25,454 recreation visits in 2022. It's an isolated piece of land in Lake Superior. Isle Royale boasts 165 miles of trails and more than 30 campgrounds. It's open from mid-April through the end of October. Ferry and seaplane service typically runs from mid-May through the end of September, according to the National Park Service. There are fewer mammal species here, only 18, than on the mainland, because animals must cross at least 14 miles of Lake Superior. Wolves and moose are among the notable animal residents. Yeah, Lake Superior is pretty cold. I know, I went swimming in there. Excuse me. Number 6 is the North Cascades National Park in Washington. 30,154 recreation visits. Peaks crowned by more than 300 glaciers tower over this alpine landscape. More than 1,600 species of plants have been identified on this land that spans temperate rainforest to a dry ponderosa pine ecosystem. There are more than 400 miles of trails. The fascinating part up until this point, I want to say, and the next one is going to be in Alaska, by the way, too. You notice that a lot of them are in Alaska and Washington. We have some beautiful national parks in those 2 states, and let's show them some love. The next one is Katmai National Park and Preserve in Alaska. 33,908 recreation visits. Katmai, no, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's Katmai. Is an important habitat for thousands of brown bears. One of the world's most premier bear viewing spots, according to the National Park Service. Katmai is home to an estimated 2,200 brown bears. Brooks Camp along the Brooks River is one of the most popular viewing spots to observe bears feasting on salmon. Number 8 is the Wrangell St. Elias National Park and Preserve in Alaska. 65,236 recreation visits. America's largest national park, Wrangell, encompasses 13.2 million acres, or about the size of Yellowstone National Park, Yosemite National Park, and Switzerland combined, the National Park Service says. Most of the park is backcountry, and visitor services are limited. There are some maintained trails in the front country, the Nabizna and McCarthy areas. Number 9, with 78,000 recreation visits, is Dry Tortugas National Park in Florida. It's about 70 miles west of Key West. Dry Tortugas is mostly open water with 7 small islands. Garden Key is home to one of the nation's largest 19th century forts, Fort Jefferson. The park is accessible by boat or plane and is host to nearly 300 species of birds. Bush Key closes every year from February to September so that sooty terns and brown noddies can breathe there undisturbed. Number 10, with 142,000 visits, was the Great Basin National Park in Nevada. Mountain peaks meet the hot desert here. Great Basin National Park is home to 13,063-foot Wheeler Park. Ancient Bristol cone pines, about 40 caves, and a wide array of plants and animals. The elevation ranges from 5,000 to 13,000 feet with hiking trails for all levels. Number 11 is the Virgin Islands National Park. Had 200,000 recreation visits. It's about 2/3 of the Virgin Island. St. John is a national park. Sandy beaches, rich marine life. It's an absolute beautiful place. 20 trails in the park. Typically, the busiest time of the year is from November to April. Well, that's understandable because here it's winter. So it's cold here, it's warm there. That's why it's busy. Number 12 is Congaree National Park in South Carolina, 204,000 visits. It's, oh, I don't know, to describe it is just, you have to see it. I've seen pictures of it. It's one of the places I'd like to go and visit. Floodwaters from the Congaree and Waterloo rivers regularly cover the park's old growth hardwood forest, and the upland pine forest depends on wildfires to clear out competing vegetation. Canoeing and kayaking are popular ways to explore the park. There's a 15-mile marked canoe trail. Number 13, with 219,000 visits, was Guadalupe Mountains National Park in Texas. It has the 4 highest peaks in Texas and the world's most extensive Permian fossil reef. Guadalupe Mountains Wilderness has more than 80 miles of trail, including a hike in the salt basin dunes that rise 100 feet from the desert floor. And number 14, with 221,000 visits, is Voyagers National Park in Minnesota. This is the park of water, islands, and horizons. 218,000 acres, 84,000 is water, 500 islands, 4 large lakes. And if you're lucky going there, you can even see northern lights. Absolutely beautiful. And number 15, with 275,000 visits, was Pinnacles National Park in California. It was formed 23 million years ago from volcanoes. Caves and towering rock spires draw hikers and climbers. There are more than 30 miles of hiking trails and hundreds of climbing routes. While Pinnacles may rank around the 15 least visited national parks, it gets very busy on weekends, holidays, and throughout the spring. Arrive early to beat the clouds. So those were the 15 least visited national parks in the United States. This is according to CNN Travel. Anyway, we hope you have the National Parks Pass and you can try to visit some of these. And we'd like you to watch, look at this, subscribe and comment, and share this with your friends. Thank you for watching our channel, and we'll have video links, like I said, to the other videos that I posted a couple weeks ago with the 10 worst states, or 10 best states to camp in, 5 worst states to camp in. So thank you for watching, and you have a sparkling day.